In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your fuel sending unit on your Mercedes-Benz C300. It's located under the rear seat on the driver's side. We're going to take out our rear seat. To do that, there is a tab here underneath, and there's a tab on the other side, or a hook, whatever you want to call it. You're going to pull up on it and release it. You might have to get in the vehicle to do that and really give it a good yank. Do the same on the other side, and then after you're done doing that, the front of the back seat should be up. Once that's up, you're going to push down right around this area where the seat belt is, push forward, and then unhook it. So we're going to push down, push forward, and unhook. Do the same on the other side. Here's the bracket that the seat is hooked into, and it's got a little hook on the side, and that's why you got to push down and then push the seat this way and then up. Once you have the seat unhooked, you're going to take it out and put it off to the side. Now we're going to peel off this pad. And take that out as well. Using an 8mm socket, we're going to take off the covers. I'm using an air tool, not a battery operated one, around fuel. I'm just going to pick this up. Set it aside. We're on the driver's side rear seat. We're going to take off this cover using an 8mm socket. Once you remove those bolts, you're going to get a flathead screwdriver and peel off the cover. We're going to disconnect our connectors here. So disconnect your wires by pushing it on the tab and pulling it off. Same on this side. I'm using a flathead screwdriver to help me. Now we're going to unplug this side. Same way. Remove that. And now we're going to start the vehicle and depressurize the whole system. Let's try to start it. Make sure you're in a very well ventilated area. Okay, we're now depressurized, so now we can continue to take it out. The battery is underneath this cover. You're going to see your red slide here for when you need a jump start, but the battery is under here. So you're going to flip up these three, there's one here, and one here, these three hold downs. I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver to do so. And once you get those unhooked, you're going to take this cover off. Set it aside. We're going to use a 10mm socket, and we're going to take off our negative battery terminal. For us, it's right here. Going to loosen up this nut. You're going to notice the terminal getting loose and take it off. Put that over there. Just make sure it's not touching anything. We're going to take this line off now. To do that, there's a little button here. And you're just going to push it in and pull up. I usually use a rag over any fuel line just in case, and put on your safety goggles. So push in and pull up. You will get a little bit of leakage, so just have a rag nearby. Before removing your unit here, we're going to make sure we have a container to put the unit in after we pull it out of the gas tank. So get ready for that. And now we're going to get our tool to undo the top lid. To undo the sending unit ring, you're going to need a special tool like this. And it's got 2 points of contact that fit into the slots there and one here. And you're going to need some sort of a breaker bar to break it free. Once you get it all hooked up, you're going to give it a good yank, and it should come right out. Now we're going to remove our tool. With the ring, and place it in our container. After you put that aside, you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Make sure you clean the area before you lift it out of the tank. You don't want any debris falling inside the tank. I had to use a lot of rust penetrant to get my ring off. So you want to wipe that up. All right, now we're ready to lift it out. Just make sure this line is out of the way enough. You're just going to pick up on the edges and free it up. We're going to slide this connector off the top and put that off to the side. And we're going to wipe up our dirt here so it doesn't get in the tank. I also had to spray some rust penetrant in there so I could get this ring started. We're going to use the same tool as we did on the other side. So you're going to get these two tabs in first. And slide it into place. Get your breaker bar going. And pull it into the other slot. And push down. And now we're going to remove the ring. There we go. Get your wire out of the way, and you can place that in your container. I'm going to wipe up the rest of my rust penetrant. Clean off the top. You don't want any debris on the top falling in the tank. Now we're going to pick up on this, just like we did the other side. And it should pop up. So this top part comes off a little bit, and we're going to unplug this. And the other side. And that'll give us access, once this is off, to reach in there and undo the lines. There we go. I'm going to remove that, put it in our bucket, ready to go. And now we're going to have access to our lines down here. So we're going to disconnect those. You can pick this up if you need to be able to reach. Now you're going to use a pair of needle nose that have like a hook shot to them, because you need to get into that connector. And you're going to push in, and it should release your fuel line. So push in on that little tab there, right here, and pull up on the fuel line. Don't push too hard, you don't want to break it. There we go. And now we're going to undo this hose. And to do that, you're just going to spread those apart a little bit and pull it out. Now we're going to take these out with the unit on the other end, on the other side, and leave this sitting here. Let's remove it. Now that we're disconnected on the other end, we can pull it out. Again, it can be a little messy, so just make sure it drips off before pulling it out completely. You want to drain it of its fuel. And there we go. So your float needs to be attached to your new pump. You're going to insert it here and lock it in right there. Now you're ready to go. Let's install. Put the lines in first. Feed them towards the front of the rear seat. There's a little path that goes in. You may have to stick your hand in there to really find out where that is. Get that line out of the way. Make sure your float's in a good spot. And this only goes in one way. Make sure this big tab goes in where it belongs. And before getting that totally situated, we're going to go on the other side and connect it. So now we're going to push this line in to its bracket right here. And now we're going to plug in our fuel line. So just press down and it should lock in. You'll hear that click. Double check, because you don't want to have to keep going back in here. It's definitely on. And now we're going to put our top on. Now you can put your gasket on. Make sure it's clean before placing your O-ring or your gasket for this transfer unit. Once it's in place, you can plug in your plugs. The white one goes here. And the black one goes here. Make sure it's clicked in good. Now you're going to line up these posts into the unit. Push down. And it should go in place. This big tab goes here, just like the way you took it off. And we're just going to get this started. Place the ring on top, find the slots. Just don't forget about this little wire over here. Make sure that's free. And now I would just get it started like that and make sure the other side is where it needs to be before tightening everything down. We're going to put our ring on, make sure your fuel line is above it. I'm going to line this up. Should just fall into place. And I'm going to use our tool to lock it in. Alright, so you're going to tighten it down, get it past that second hump. Like that. You can remove your tool. And now we're going to connect our fuel line and our connectors. Just get everything lined up. Okay, we're going to push down on the fuel line, lock it in place, plug in our connectors, make sure everything's tight. And now we're going to put our cover on. For this side, I remove the cover completely. Make sure your arrow is pointing this way and it's curved inward to go with the seat. Let's put our bolts in. Tighten them down. Now that we know everything's connected on the other side, we're going to tighten this down. So just tighten it, press down on it, and push down to lock it in place. All right, so it should be locked up. So you're gonna know you're lined up and locked in when you first get it initially tight, and then it's gonna get under this little hump here, and it's gonna lock in place right in the middle. Remove your tool, put your connector back on where it lives, plug it in. Make sure you hear that click and it's secure. And now you're going to plug it in. Same thing, make sure you hear that click. Push down on your connections. Get them out of the way. And now we're going to put our cover back on. Going to start our bolts. And we can tighten those down. Now we're gonna connect our battery, turn the key on, make sure we hear our fuel pump kick on. And if it does, you can put the rear seat back in. Tighten it up. Make sure it's tight. Make sure it doesn't move. And now we're going to put our cover on. Make sure both of these are out and your spring is up. Your spring clip. Now you're going to put this over the battery. Just make sure everything's out of the way. Snap it on. Let's put our padding back. Make sure it's in place. You want all your studs and bolts to line up. So you should have something here and here. and over here and over there. Now we're going to put our seat in. Line up your seat belts. You're going to make sure you're hooked into those two brackets that we talked about earlier. Going to push in and push down. That should hook in. Might take a couple tries, but you'll know when you're in because it won't pop up in the back. And then push this into the slot. You may have to peek under there, make sure it's lined up, or go by feel. Once you're lined up, push it in. Do the same on the other side.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.